Ever find yourself kind of zoning out and picturing like the perfect city?
Oh, you mean like a Sim City kind of thing?
Huh. Yeah, kinda. But no, I'm talking about more than just buildings. I'm thinking about how people get around, how to make a commute, something you actually look forward to. It makes you wonder who actually figures all that out in the real world.
Now that is the work of a transport planner. And it's way more than just drawing lines on a map, roads and stoplights and all that.
Okay, so is that what we're diving into today? Transport planners.
You got it. We're going to unpack what they really do, the skills you need to make it in that world.
And how a platform like RoleCatcher can give you a major advantage. Because it sounds like it's a pretty important job.
Absolutely. And it's only getting more crucial, honestly. Think about it. As cities grow, as
Yeah.
things change, we need people who can design, like, sustainable transport, efficient solutions.
And RoleCatcher really highlights the social impact, the environmental side of this career path. It's refreshing.
It's not just number crunching,
Oh, yeah.
It's about making a city work for the people.
Although, I gotta be honest, when I hear transport planner, my brain goes straight to like a boring government office. Is that accurate?
Not even close.
Oh, really?
While, yeah, government roles are a big part of it, you could be working for consulting firms, private companies, heck, even tech startups are getting into the game, developing all these new transportation solutions. It's a lot more dynamic than people realize.
I like the sound of that. Field work too, right? Collecting data, actually seeing how people move around.
Exactly. It's not all desk work.
So let's say someone's listening and they're like, yeah, that's me. I want to be a transport planner. What skills do they actually need? RoleCatcher seems to have some strong thoughts on this.
And rightfully so. They've done their research. Data analysis is a big one, obviously. We're talking traffic modeling software, understanding complex data sets, really speaking the language of data.
Right, you got to know your way around a spreadsheet.
Exactly. But it goes beyond that, too. You got to be a critical thinker.
Right.
It was one thing to analyze data, but you need to interpret it, find the patterns, and then use all that information to actually make decisions.
It's like seeing the story behind the numbers, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Not just what the data says, but what it means for a community, for the environment, even for the future of transportation.
Wow, so it's not just the hard skills, the technical stuff. You need vision.
You said it. And don't forget about communication. Being able to get your point across, explain your ideas in a way that gets people on board. Because a lot of times you'll be presenting to stakeholders, policymakers, even the public.
It's almost like being a salesperson for your own vision, in a way.
Right.
Convincing people this is the best way forward.
You got it. And that ability to persuade, to really articulate your vision, it's huge. That could be what makes or breaks a project, honestly.
So you need that mix of creativity, technical skills, and then the communication aspect on top of it. It's a lot. And I imagine with how fast technology changes, you always have to be learning new things, right? RoleCatcher really emphasizes that continuous learning.
It's not even an option, honestly. Remember when GIS software, those systems that let us visualize and analyze spatial data really became the norm? That completely changed the game for us.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine. Suddenly you can see traffic patterns in a whole new way.
Exactly. Pinpoint congestion points, even simulate the impact of different solutions. I had to learn it all crazy fast, but let me tell you, it made me so much more effective as a planner.
It's like you leveled up.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And that's the thing about this field. You always got to be ready for that next level.
Makes you realize it's kind of like a constantly evolving field, And I got to imagine for someone just starting out, it can be a little daunting. Like, where do you even begin to look for those dream jobs?
Oh, for sure. I remember back in the day spending hours on those job boards, clicking through, trying to keep track of everything. It was a nightmare.
I can only imagine.
But see, that's where tools like RoleCatcher's browser extension, the RoleCatcher Cacher thing, it's a game changer, honestly.
Yeah. Okay, so tell me more about that. What is that exactly?
Basically, you can be on any job board, see something interesting, and just click. Saves it right then and there. No more like copying links, making lists, hoping you remember where you saw what.
It's like having a little assistant that just gathers it all up for you. I like it.
Exactly. Keeps everything organized. And speaking of organized, we got to talk about the CV and resume stuff on RoleCatcher. That AI analysis they offer. That's next level.
Yeah, you mentioned that earlier. How does that work, though? Do they, like, scan for typos or something?
It's way more than that. Imagine this. The AI takes your CV, right, and compares it to the actual requirements of the jobs you're interested in, like specific keywords, skills, all that.
Oh, so it's tailoring your application, basically, to what employers are actually looking for.
Exactly. And it'll flag any gaps, too. Like, maybe you've got the experience, but you haven't used the exact wording that would catch a recruiter's eye.
It's like getting inside the mind of those hiring algorithms almost, which makes sense, especially in a field like transport planning, right? Where you've got a ton of qualified people all vying for the same positions.
Exactly. It's competitive out there.
Yeah.
But that's just one piece of it. Let's talk about interview prep. RoleCatcher, they've got this insane database of practice questions. We're talking over 120,000.
120,000. Okay, that's a lot of questions.
Right. And these aren't just generic ones either. They're specific to different careers, even different skill sets within those careers.
So, like, you could practice answering questions specifically about, say, traffic modeling software
Yeah,
or sustainable transport strategies.
precisely. You're going for transport planner jobs. Boom. They've got questions tailored for that.
That is so smart. Okay, what about this AI feedback thing I saw on their site? Do they, like, record you during a practice interview and critique your posture or something?
Haha. No, it's not quite like that. But you can record yourself answering these practice questions, and
Yeah.
then the AI analyzes it. Like, how's your pacing? Are you speaking clearly? Are you using all the right industry jargon, or are you stumbling over it?
Oh, wow. It's like having a little coach in your pocket.
Right. And for someone like me, who I'll admit gets a little nervous before interviews, just having that practice, that feedback, it's invaluable.
I bet. All right. Well, speaking of practice, I've got Role Catcher's interview prep pulled up here, and I'm kind of curious. Would you be up for a little challenge?
Hit me with it. I'm always game.
All right. Let me see. Ooh, here's a good one. How do you ensure that transportation plans are sustainable and environmentally friendly?
Oh, that's a big one. And a really important one, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no one-size-fits-all answer, right?
Yeah.
Sustainability, it has to be woven into the entire planning process from start to finish.
So where do you even begin with that?
For me, it starts with prioritizing a multimodal approach,
Right.
moving away from that car-centric mindset, putting more emphasis on public transport, walking, cycling, that kind of thing.
Right. Giving people options and hopefully making those more sustainable options the more appealing ones.
Exactly. And it's not just about reducing emissions either. It's about creating a more equitable transportation system for everyone, because not everyone can afford a car or wants to drive everywhere.
It's about accessibility too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And even things like, what materials are we using? Can we move away from traditional asphalt and concrete, explore some more sustainable options?
Oh, interesting. Like what?
There are some really cool things happening with recycled materials, permeable pavements that can help manage stormwater runoff.
It's like you're thinking about the entire life cycle of the materials, the impact they have.
You have to. And of course, reducing overall vehicle miles traveled is huge, whether that's through smarter routing, encouraging ride sharing, or even just promoting more mixed-use development, where people can live, work, and play all within a smaller radius.
So they're not traveling as far in the first place.
Exactly. It's a whole systems approach, really.
It's so much more comprehensive than I think people realize. It's not just about planting a few trees here and there. It's about fundamentally rethinking how we design our cities.
100%. And you touched on this, but it's not just about the environment either. It's about social equity, making sure the transportation system works for everyone, not just a select few.
So true. All right. So we've talked about the free resources, but RoleCatcher also offers this paid co-pilot AI. What makes that worth the investment, especially for someone who's really serious about landing a job in this field? It's like, yeah, the map gets you there, but this is like having someone in the passenger seat who's like, okay, turn left here, you're going to want to take this shortcut.
That's a great way to put it. And the Copilot AI, it takes all of RoleCatcher's data, all that intel they have, and really personalizes it. Like, let's say you're building your CV, right? It's not just analyzing what you've already got.
It's helping you build it from the ground up almost.
Almost. It'll suggest keywords, specific phrases, even formatting things, all based on what actually gets noticed by those AI recruiters in the transport planning world.
Wow. So it's giving you an edge because those algorithms can be tough.
Oh, absolutely. And then there's the interview stuff. Remember all those practice questions we talked about?
120,000. I don't think I'll ever forget that number.
Right. Well, the Copilot AI, it doesn't give you the answers.
Okay, good, because that would be cheating.
Exactly. But it helps you craft better answers. Thinks about your responses like they're rough drafts. The Copilot AI, it's like that expert editor helping you polish them up, make them really shine.
So it's about understanding what makes a good answer, not just memorizing something word for word.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for those of us who, maybe get a little flustered in an interview setting.
No shame in that. Happens to the best of us.
Right. The Copilot AI, It can even simulate mock interviews.
Oh, wow. Get those practice reps in.
Exactly. And a safe environment where you can experiment, get feedback. It's pretty cool.
Okay, yeah, the Copilot AI is sounding like a game changer. It's like a
Uh,
secret weapon. So, big picture, if someone's listening to this, thinking about a career in transport planning, what are the key things they should take away from all of this?
I think the biggest thing is this field, it's about so much more than just cars and roads. It's about communities. It's about quality of life. It's about building a more sustainable future. And that's exciting.
It is. You're not just designing a transportation system, you're designing a city in a way.
Exactly. And it requires a unique skill set, you know? You need that technical expertise, sure, but you also need that creativity, that passion for making a difference. It's a really cool blend.
And this is a field that's only going to grow, right, as more and more people move to cities.
Oh, absolutely. The demand for skilled transport planners, it's only going to go up.
So if you're listening to this and you're like, okay, that's me, that's what I want to do, what's the best first step? Where do you even start?
Honestly, check out RoleCatcher.
Yeah.
Seriously, explore their website, dig into those career guides, play around with those interview tools, see what clicks for you.
Because you never know, this could be the start of something really amazing.
Exactly. You could be the one designing that perfect commute, that vibrant, connected city. Where getting around isn't a hassle, it's actually enjoyable.
And on that note, I think that's a wrap on our deep dive into the world of transport planning, brought to you by RoleCatcher.
It's been fun.
We hope you learned something new today, maybe even got a little bit inspired. Until next time, happy planning.